I used to live in Newfoundland until fairly recently. This was my goodbye poem to Newfoundland. And not just to the province, but mostly to the people I've met there. This is called Here's to the Creeps. I know, isn't that horrible? No. Here's to the creeps, oh beautiful prowlers who live after midnight across the genuflecting streets. Here's to the freaks who in dementia attempt to bottle creation in a verse. Here's to the smokers blowing nicotine as the forgotten dancers of the night sky. Here's to the ravers and their neon adornments worshipping music and the godless hit of ecstasy. Here's to the cold beer that ignites the gut to kiss the boys you like, the boys you will forget, or the boys you will be with forever. Here's to exhibits of modern, pseudo-modern, and anti-post-postmodernism that pinches away at the soul like poison. Here's to those who go on dates by the harbor side. Oh, what sweet nothingness syncopating with the din of ship horns and buskers. Here's to holding hands at the park, that single touch that disguises the fear of lonesomeness. Here's to those who get thrills from handcuffs and tickling. Here's to those who barely speak English and wander the treacherous highways of Babylon in drag. Here's to those who go camping in backyards and alleyways and parking lots in a facsimile of homelessness and privilege. Here's to the hipsters, to those who know hipsters, to those who know what is hipster, to those who are hipsters but deny it, to those who call themselves hipsters but they aren't. Here's to millennials and the children of the millennium who see the world peak in the age of Aquarius. Here's to finding love in Grindr or Tinder and finding love again in Grindr or Tinder and again in Grindr or Tinder until love becomes a swipe of sentiment. Here's to those who have lost their way home and set up shack at George Street trading magic. Here's to the pool players who whittle and congregate at pubs to worship the endless balls. Here's to the alcoholics who find answers in searing endless voids at the bottom of their mugs. Here's to those who can barely get up in the morning, whose every step out of a chained bed is littered with nails. Here's to those who stare at their mirrors in fogged daylight, wishing for a happy mirage or joyous illusion. Here's to those who cannot take off their shirts when swimming. Here's to those who leave, packing only dreams in their suitcases. Here's to those who come back, echoing God in a new mulligan. Here's to those who live with pills in drug-induced confusion or paranoia, mixing elation with a hit or a high or a scramble for sanity. Here's to those who howl at the full moon, those who strip in the middle of the solstice, those who orgy with the nymphs and fairies. Here's to finding a divine in tomes of heterosexual philosophy. Here's to the whores who peddle love in exchange for the vapidity of sex. Here's to the loons, incoherent and mad, yelling prophecies about the end of the world due to capitalism. Here's to the pimped out dollar whoring out for a bite of McDonald's. Here's to the students trapped cyclically in learning and unlearning the mysteries of the human experience, pumping caffeine in a morbid race to the top. Here's to those trapped in cubicles, their fingers smudged and broken from the chattering clicks of the keyboard. Here's to the protesters who yell fire and paint slogans against the gargantuan jaw of government. Here's to those who make music to mask the staccato row of the infernal machinery. Here's to those who paint in bleak and vibrant colors a world of harmonious war. Here's to those who capture life in photographs and film, using new media to slice open the life unheeded. Here's to the dancers whose bodies move in precision through 8 counts of choreography. Here's to the actors who live characters woven from the overworld to convey the ironic semblance of drama. Here's to the poets, the writers, the wordsmiths, to those who use words as spells, conjuring night after night the unnamed demons of nostalgia. Here's to the hallucinations embodied in waking flesh. Here's to the friends who have gone, the friends who have stayed, the friends we will leave, and the friends we have yet to meet. Here's to the nameless whose omnipresence is punctuated by loss of memory. Here's to the boys we've fucked and the countless poems we have to thank them for. Here's to those who still believe in forever and in love, and most importantly, believe in life after love. Here's to youth and longing for Neverland, catching Snorlax in a world expecting adulting. Here's to Friday night at the Yellow Door, dissecting art and getting drunk. Well, we don't drink here, but pretending to understand poetry while getting drunk. Again, we don't drink here. Here's to the underground extreme, the haven for the broken, the unrepentant, occasionally unforgiving. Here's to the muses who kiss our ears as we sleep, filling our dreams with epiphanies of naked men contorted in pleasure. Here's to the perverts and sluts, those who love sex and love talking about sex in an understanding of bliss. Here's to the made-up soliloquies and harmonizing prose that lost its way in translation. Here's to those who go to bed at 4 in the morning, reeking of whiskey and cigarettes and marijuana, stumbling at rooms and passing out to a euphoric hallucination of world peace. Here's to those that cannot be explained, those that have to be discovered, kisses left to the imagination, place that should have been visited, smiles will never associate, and prayers left unanswered. Here's to serendipity and kismet and good fortune for the broken. Here's to those that time has forgotten, whose cherubic faces fade in flashes of pink. Here's to those who have yet to find an escape, held in captivity by the institution's seemingly benevolent captor. Here's to the husbands of tomorrow, the fathers of eternity. Here's to hailing bus rides on an express tour of infinity. Here's to gray summers, skies that herald an end to the sun. Here's to the boys who contemplate suicide when the jazz track is over. Here's to those confined to the asylum, the only solace peering out windows to those madder than they are. Here's to breaking the silence that has blanketed the city for years. Here's to being controversial and avant-garde in red flowing capes and a perm when the world asks clean-shaven three-piece suits. Here's to Newfoundland's ducks who quack and waddle, not giving a fuck as they ravage the city for stray prey. Here's to the lucky few who found love in a hopeless place. Here's to the vegans, the Buddhist monks who know the souls of carrots, who just dream of being on Broadway. Here's to graffiti cladding the nudist buildings in garbs of eccentric couture. Here's to doing theater in the nude. Here's to those who face down the titans of depression on a nightly basis armed with the sword of entropy. Here's to the serpents of truth whose venom heals and kills in random slumber. Here's to the mistress of cadence and rhythm and rhyme who breathe poetry down the necks of boys. Here's to those who forget to tune guitars and play out of tune to the beats of their hearts. Here's to artists starving for life, bleeding out masterpieces in exchange for the sweet glory of demonic possession. Here's to the free spirits who amidst the hustle of drones and sparkling streetlights meditate on the existence of forever. Here's to those who know God, those who don't believe in God, those who worship and those whose lives are blessed. Here's to wishes, dreams and goals, passions and destinies, craft and skill, the celebrated unknown, the search for a future, the mark on history, the love that needs to be found, the love that has yet to find us in various albeit similar resets, in coffees and beers, in embraces, hellos and farewells. Here's to the creeps, here's to the weirdos, here's to the freaks, the geeks, the sluts, the perverts, the alcoholics, the artists, painters, dancers, actors, photographers, musicians, poets, sculptors, writers, performers, drug addicts, students, workers, activists, millennials, hipsters, beatniks, buskers, vegans, avant-garde, suicidals, yogis, lovers, and friends. Here's to open mic and a stream of confession, therapy, magic, and ecstasy in a world running out of beauty.